I think I found some sort of subterranean tunnels to the center of the earth when I was a teenager. And yet I know it sounds like some weird schizo shit, but hear me out. So we had this shed in the back of my yard when I was a kid. There was a big old pine tree next to it and these big cement pavers. I flipped them up sometimes to find bugs and stuff. One day I do this and I find there's a hole about the size of my fist underneath. Prod it with a stick the length of my arm from the tree, entire stick vanishes. So then I take a shovel from the shed and dig around it a bit until it's big enough to fit through. I've broken into some sort of tunnel that runs at a gently slope down deeper into the earth. So immediately my adventure boner gets rock hard, but I'm not a fucking idiot, so I go grab a flashlight and a walking stick I whittled into a spear-ish thing before I head further down. I hop into the tunnel and head downward. It seems man-made rather than natural because the walls are mostly dirt/loose rocks held in place by a coarse white cloth. As I head further down I begin to feel invigorated and energetic, probably mostly because of the adventure, so I take a running start, chuck the spear down and start sliding down the tunnel. And that's when everything went very wrong. Just as I started to pick up some speed on my slide as the tunnel tilted downward, my light shines on these two reflecting points of light further down the tunnel. In midair. And then those two eyes turn into a whole bunch more smaller ones. A giant fucking spider, so fucking huge its body pretty much takes up the entire tunnel. And the tunnel was a good 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. I immediately try to stop sliding and in a panic I drop my flashlight while skidding to a halt. Just as I do it, I see the spider fucking just well. You ever seen a really fast spider? One of those long-legged fucks that just move like a blur? It did that thing. The light wasn't pointed down the tunnel for maybe a single whole second, and that thing must have covered the entire distance in time, because when I get the flashlight back up it's just sitting there in the tunnel, staring at the light doing that stupid fucking creepy ass shit spiders do with their mandibles. I'm literally pissing myself at this point because I fucking hate spiders, while slowly trying to get to my feet. I think it must have been blinded/mesmerized by the light somehow, because it had absolutely zero reason to not just murder me. I slowly back up out of the tunnel, and the fucker started following me. I think its eyes were getting adjusted to the light because it started acting more predatory. I can't really explain how a spider can act more predatory than it already was, other than it sitting still and moving in extremely fast bursts, each one ending closer to me than the last. I'll thank every saint and holy man on earth to have ever lived every day of my life for the moment my foot hit the stick spear that I'd dropped earlier. I slowly, very slowly picked it up while keeping my eyes and the light on the spider at all times. Kept going back up the tunnel with the spear braced in front of me at all times. Spider kept sitting still for several minutes, then doing the most pants-shitting causing charge straight towards me at warp speed before stopping a couple feet away. I think I must have actually shit my pants at this point, and I had no idea how far I was from the entrance because I didn't dare take my eyes off the spider. The next charge it did only stopped about 10 feet away, and I somehow just knew in my gut that it had finished sounding me out or whatever and would go for the kill next time. I had the spear and all, but I was smart enough to figure a spider that big with all that speed and weight behind it would probably smush me even if I stabbed it first. There was a standoff of sorts for a minute where we just stood still and stared at each other. And I could fucking swear I saw just a glint of something in that fucker's face. Intelligence, rationale, something. I don't think it knew what I was. Probably was also used to prey running and shitting their pants instead of standing their ground. Still not sure how I did that to this day, though admittedly I did the whole pant shitting thing. So at this point I'm pretty sure I'm going to fucking die, and not just die, get eaten by a goddamn giant fucking spider. It's that sort of weird combination of scared shitless and pissed the fuck off that can give someone strength in a bad situation. So I decide fuck it, if I die then I die fighting, so I chuck the flashlight at the spider, take my spear in both hands and charge the fucker in the dark, stabbing and screaming like a madman. There's a bunch of weird rustling noises and then my spear connects with something solid and moving. I pull it out and stab it again with all my weight behind it, and this time I feel it actually penetrate and sink into something soft and fleshy. There's this weird ass vibrating noise, almost a sort of thumping or humming combination, but I'm pissed as fuck, so I keep stabbing until I realize I'm just stabbing the walls and the spider had fucked off. I pick up my flashlight and walk back up to the entrance, bury the fuck out of it and never go back behind the shed again. I still am like 50/50ths to this day whether it was a dream or not.